ओके। स च सर्वगुणोपेतः,
स च सर्वगुणोपेतः,
स च सर्वगुणोपेतः,
स च सर्वगुणोपेतः,
कौसल्यानन्दवर्धनः,
कौसल्यानन्दवर्धनः,
समुद्र इव गाम्भीर्ये,
समुद्र इव गाम्भीर्ये,
धैर्येण हिमवानिव.
दैर्घ्येण हिमवानिव.
Again, you see, the first two letters are in a way superfluous. Basically, the poet wants to say Sarva Gunopetaha, but it is only 6 letters. We want 8. So they added Sa Cha. Sa means he. Sa means he. Cha again is slightly superfluous. Sa Cha Sarva Gunopetaha.
स च सर्वगुणोपेतः,
स च सर्वगुण उपेतः.
स च सर्वगुणोपेतः,
Guna upetaha means endowed with these qualities. Guna is quality. Guna is attribute. Upetaha means endowed with, having. Sarva gunopetaha. Then Kausalya Nandavardhanaha. Kausalya is mother Kausalya. Nanda is happiness. The number of words are there. Nanda, Ananda. That means you are adding a prefix. A. Nanda, Ananda. You can still make it Paramananda, Brahmananda. You keep on adding one by one to make it more explicit and more powerful. Here it simply says Kausalya Nanda Vardhanaha. He, one who enhances the joy of Kausalya. It is true of every child. Every baby, every child will give lot of happiness to the mother. So Rama is one who gives happiness to Kausalya. So this is Balakanda. So it is referring to Rama as a small child. Then Samudra iva gambhirye. We can see this. Sarva guna upetaha. He is endowed with all virtues, all good qualities. Then Nandavardhanaha Kausalya. One who enhances the joys, the happiness, and the pleasure of Mother Kausalya. Actually, Kausalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi, all these mothers, they were really, they did not have issues for a very, very long time. So after Putra Kameshti, when they got his sons, they were extremely happy. And and not only happy because got a child, because they got a child with such a great qualities. Everybody loves the child. So naturally you feel happy, no? Suppose I'm a father, I'm a mother, and my child creates nuisance in the colony. Every fellow people come and complain about my son and my child every day. I don't get pleasure. It becomes a headache for me. Whereas if everybody praises our children, we become more and more happy. That's what it says. Nandavardhana Kausalya. Then Samudra Iva Gambhirye. Now, depth of his thoughts. Depth of his thoughts. He is very, very deep. He thinks very deeply. Now, depth is what? I want to show something very, very deep. Best thing is compare it to the sea. Like the sea in depth of his thought. And fortitude means never waver, unwavering. Once you take a decision, you are very firm in that. So, can there be anything which is more firm than Himalaya mountain? Himavat mountain. Himavat mountain is Himalaya mountain. So, in fortitude is as firm as Himalayas. Sarva gunopetaha, endowed with all virtues. Rama is endowed with all possible great qualities. If you think of Vishnu Sahasranama, how many names are there? How many qualities are there which are listed in those 1,000 names? They are the qualities. So all those qualities are there. And we have just read the versa, Charitam Raghunathasya Shatakoti Pravistaram. Rama's glory you can't describe in maybe even 1,000 verses. Shatakoti, 100 crore verses also, we will not be able to describe his glory. Well, what is it? Charitam Raghunathasya Shatakoti Pravitram. But he says Pravistaram. But Ekaikam Aksharam Pumsam Mahapataka Nashanam. One name is enough to free me from all my sins. What it says. Now, the qualities of the God, sometimes they are described as a nirguna, sometimes as saguna. So many qualities are there. All these qualities are there in him. Qualities which are physical or which relate to his mind, relate to his intellect, or relate to his heart. All these noble qualities are there in him. Now, how many qualities are there? We cannot say. Like, how many stars are there in the sky? Who can count the number of stars in the sky? Who can count the number of grains in a seashore? We cannot. How many hair does a sheep have? You cannot count. So that is something like this. Sarva gunopetaha. We list number of qualities, but still say, no, everything else. So many are there. Innumerable, countless are his noble qualities. Kausalya Nandavardhanaha. Again, very interesting to note. It does not say Dasharatha Nandavardhanaha. It does not say. It says Kausalya Nandavardhanaha. Because mother will always get priority over the father. In case of affection, love of a child, mother is always first. Father will be one step below. The troubles that a mother takes are far greater than the father in bearing the child, in rearing the child, and giving good qualities to the child. The mother's role is very, very important. Mother's affection, concern for a child are far greater. Now, Dashrath, another point is Dashratha's happiness can be enhanced by other sons. He has 4 sons from 3 wives. But Kausalya had only one son. As far as she is concerned, she had Rama and Rama alone. Just imagine what was her condition when Rama was forced to go to the forest, much against her will. She was feeling miserable. So she was waiting for Rama to come back. And another beautiful stotram, all of us know, Venkatesh Suprabhatam, the very first verse, very first line start with Kausalya Supraja Rama. So Vishwamitra, when he wakes up Rama, when he takes him along with him to the forest, when he was to wake up Rama, he says, Kausalya Supraja Rama Uttishta. He said, get up. You have to get up and do your Daivamanhikam. So that is what Vishwamitra said. Kausalya Supraja Rama. Supraja means the noble son, the great son. Praja is son. Supraja, great son, noble son of Kausalya. O Rama, please get up. That's what he said. Samudra iva gambhirye. Now, in the comparison of the depth of thoughts with the sea. Because sea is something which is the deepest possible we can imagine. Because more than the mountain, more than the Himalaya mountain, for example, in the sea, the Pacific Ocean, there is the deepest point Pacific Ocean, the entire Mount Everest can be immersed. It is deeper than Mount Everest in height. So that is the depth of that. I think it is, I don't know how much it is, but maybe double the height of the Mount Everest. There is one deepest point in Pacific Ocean. So Rama's depth of thoughts are almost like this. Another important feeling is when you compare with sea, you always have precious gems and minerals. See, so many things, thoughts are contained in this one word. Simply says, Samudra Iva, you compare to sea. But all that which poet has in mind, so many things are there. Very much like valuable person, great in depth, all these things will come. And Dhairyena Himavan Iva. He is like the Himavat mountain in fortitude, unaffected. Because Himalaya mountain is unaffected by. That is what it says. So Rama's determination to follow the path of Dharma was like this, unshakable. Nobody can make him deviate from the path he chose. For example, he decided to go to the forest. He made a commitment to go to the forest. Then everybody requested him. Neither the pleadings of Bharata, nor the tearful pleas of the citizens, nor the advice of Vasishtha and other sages, nor even the request of Kaikeyi, the root cause of his leaving Ayodhya. None of this could shake him. So he was absolutely firm. He decided that. Okay. And now, when he had to march to Lanka, even in Sundarkanda, there is a verse. It says, Sita Devi, Mother Sita will ask Hanuman, I hope he is having good equation with people. How will he come to Lanka? How will he fight with Ravana? Will he get lot of support? Or maybe his brother Bharata, who is very devoted to him, he may send one Akshavini of Sena, he may send perhaps. This is what Mother Sita was assuming. But Rama never sought help from anybody, not even his brother, not even from Ayodhya. He only assembled an army of humble monkeys, Vanaras, and with their help, he was able to conquer and defeat Ravana, kill Ravana. Dhairyena Himavan Iva. His absolutely confidence, his level of confidence is so and so. It's like Himat mountain. Again, comparison with Himalaya mountains here. Actually, when Sita was kidnapped, he appears to be immersed in sorrow. He was crying like a human being. We always wonder when we read Ramayana, we always wonder why Rama is after all Mahavishnu. But why should Rama cry like this? Why should he behave like this small petty beings? No, he was doing like this to share the sentiments of the human beings. He wanted to, is a reflection of the Lord's human personality. As in incarnation of Rama, Mahavishnu came as a man, Nara. Whereas in Krishna Avatara, he did not come. He came as Supreme Being only. So it's called Purna Avatar. So he was never shaken, Krishna. But Rama behaves like just like this. Similarly, when Lakshmana fell to the arrows of Meghnath, he was crying like anything. He says, how will I show my face to anybody? If without Lakshmana, I will also end my life. So this is the type of feelings he expressed. But this was only momentary. He was able to regain his composure in no time and display his steely determination with full fortitude. So that is why the comparison is with Himavan. Okay. The next two verses are there. We'll complete this. Vishnuna sadrusho virye
वीर्ये
somavat priyadarshanaha
प्रियदर्शनः
कालाग्नि सदृशः क्रोधे
सः क्रोधे
क्षमया पृथ्वी समः.
समः
Here, four qualities are being described. One is his power, Rama's power. Comparison with Mahavishnu himself is the indirect hint that Rama is incarnation of Vishnu. But Valmiki Ramayana does not explicitly say that Rama is avatar of Mahavishnu. But Rama as Mahavishnu avatara, as Mahavishnu, is mentioned in other versions of Ramayana. Like Adhyata Ramayana, Tulsi Ramayana, it is clearly mentioned there. But Valmiki Ramayana refers to him only as a great human being. Okay? But in strength, is only one or two hints are there. That in strength, in power, is like Mahavishnu himself. And he is very, very pleasant. For pleasantness, a pleasing appearance, the natural comparison is Chaudhvika Chand, moon, full moon. So full moon is a common comparison. Even today, every poet, every lyricist will use only this comparison for denoting the beauty, for pleasantness of anybody. So moon. Anger, krodha, anger. Normally Rama does not get angry. But if at all he gets angry, his anger will be like Kalagni, Praya Agni. So comparison with Praya Agni, the most potent and most dangerous thing. And in the patience, his comparison is with Earth, Mother Earth. Kshamaya Prithvi Samaha. Again, you can see four comparisons everywhere, one quality compared with one particular attribute. Vishnuna, Vishnuna, Sadrushah Virye,
विश्वो वीर्ये
Vishnuna, Sadrushah Virye,
सदृशे सदृशो वीर्ये
Somavat Priyadarshanaha.
दर्शनः जनः
कालाग्नि सदृशः क्रोधे
काला
पुरुषः क्रोधे
क्षमया पृथिवी समः
क्षमया
समः
विष्णुना वीर्ये विष्णुना सदृशः. In power, he is similar to Vishnu. That is what I mentioned. Comparison is with Vishnu. Gaganam gaganakaram, sagaram sagaropamam. See, comparison is with likes to likes. There was none in the gods. When you're comparing strength, you cannot even say Indra. Indra is not as powerful as him. No god, no Yama, no power man is powerful. So supreme power, all these gods and goddesses, when they have a problem, when any asuras come and attack heaven, Swarga, Indra will run to Mahavishnu for protection. So Mahavishnu is supreme power. So Rama is compared with Mahavishnu, not with Indra, etc. So that is what it does. Comparison can be made only with Rama. Because Rama is Rama. How is Rama? Rama is like Rama. Instead of saying that, we are saying Rama is like Mahavishnu. So very difficult to draw a comparison equal to him. Priyavat Soma Darshanaha, pleasing to the sight in appearance like the full moon. That's why one of the favorite names of Rama is Ramachandra. Rama as a child was called Ramachandra because Rama was always as a child. He used to, even if suppose he is not in a good mood, Mother Kausalya used to show the full moon to him. Immediately Rama used to smile. Baby Rama used to smile. So he was given the name of Ramachandra. But it's very interesting to know, he was born in Surya Vamsha. Rama was born in Solar dynasty, but his name is Ramachandra, which is related to Chandra, so lunar dynasty. Pandavas of the lunar dynasty, Rama was in Solar dynasty. Priyavat Soma Darshanaha. Then, and also one more reason is there, as I already mentioned to you, Rama, when he was crying as a baby, he used to stop. He used to immediately smile when mother showed him the moon. Krodhe Kalagni Sadrushaha. When he gets angry, it will be like a destructive fire at the time of Pralaya. The Pralayagni, Kalagni, will reduce the entire universe to ashes. That is supposed to be so powerful. So that shows the supreme anger. There can be nothing more powerful than this. So when Rama gets angry, nobody can stop him. So that is what it means. Rama does not normally get angry, but he will not tolerate those who offend or harm. Mainly, not him. You harm Rama, he may not mind. You trouble Sita Devi, he may not mind. But you trouble his devotees, like a Sugriva or Vibhishana, anybody who seeks protection from him, if you trouble him, he will never keep quiet. So this is same Bhagavad Gita also says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkrutam. He will not tolerate people who follow evil ways and harm his bhaktas and devotees. And Kshamaya Prithvi Samaha, in patience equal to Mother Earth. Mother Earth, as we know what we are doing to planet Earth now, how we are treating planet Earth, how unfair we are. We torture, we spoil the atmosphere, we destroy the environment, but still it's only helping us, is a fact. So, but theoretically, what we say is Mother Earth is supposed to have a lot of patience, embodiment of patience and tolerance. So, Rama is compared with that. In patience, is compared with Mother. That's why he says, he mentioned in one place that even if Ravana himself seek my refuge, I will not say no. This is my vrata, this is my principle, this is my determination. That's what Rama had said. In time of discussion, whether to give protection to Vibhishana or not, was being discussed. This is the last verse of today. Dhanadena samahatyage
धनादेन समहत्यागे
ye dharma iva para
ये धर्म इवा पराः
tameva guna sampannam
एवं संपन्नं
ramam satya parakramam.
पराक्रमम्
धनदेन समः त्यागे
धनेन समहत्यागे
सत्ये धर्म इव अपरः
सत्ये धर्म
इव
इव अपरः
इव अपरः
अपरा means he is like another dharma personified. Iva aparaha, apara dharmaha is embodiment of dharma. If dharma is actually is not a physical being, dharma is a quality. If dharma takes a physical quality, takes a physical appearance, it will look like Rama. That is what it says. Satye dharma ivaparaha
सत्ये
धर्म इवापरः
tam evam guna sampannam.
तं
एवं गुणसम्पन्नं
It becomes tamevam. Tam evam guna sampannam
तं एवं गुणसम्पन्नं
ramam satya parakramam
रामं
पराक्रमं
dhanadena samahatyage
धनतेन समहत्यागे
satye dharma ivaparaha
सत्ये धर्म इवापरः
tamevam guna sampannam
तमेवं गुणसम्पन्नं
ramam satya parakramam.
रामं सत्यपराक्रमम्
So tyage means in matters of charity he is like Kubera. You know the story of Balaji Tirupati when Srinivasa wanted to get wed to goddess Padmavati. He did not have financial resources. He didn't have the money. He wanted to borrow. He went to whom? Kubera. He goes to Kubera, borrows money from him. Even Lord Balaji has to borrow money. He wants to borrow, and his requirement can be met only by Kubera. So here, Kubera is supposed to be extremely rich and also extremely generous. So Rama, in matters of charity, comparison with Kubera, Tyage Dhanadena Samaha, equal to Kubera in matters of charity. And in matters of Satya means in adhering to truth. Satya Dharma Parayanaha. He is like another god of justice. Satya Aparaha Dharma Eva. Eva means like. Samaha means like. He is like another god of justice, another god of Dharma. That means Dharma Murti Bhavan. If Dharma takes a human form, it will be like Rama. So now Narada is concluding because this is what the question was asked by Valmiki. Is there any person in this world, our contemporary, who is having, he listed a few attributes, gunas, qualities. No, Narada said it is very difficult to find one person having all these qualities. But yes, I have come to know about one person, son of Dasharatha, born in Ikshvaku Vamsha, that is Rama, who has these qualities. So when Narada lists these qualities, these are much more than what Valmiki wanted. Valmiki asked maybe about 7 or 8 qualities. Narada has listed about 20 qualities, more than that. So that's why he says, Evam guna sampannam, possessing all such good qualities, guna sampannam, satya parakramam, never failing in his adherence to truth and power. Tam Ramam. So now at end of these all these slokas, you remember his sloka starts at verse number 8. So 8 to 19 is actually one single sentence. All these verses 8 to 19 together is 19 sentences. Up to that he just listed the names and now he is telling such are the noble qualities of Sri Rama. Tamevam gunasampannam satya parakramam. Let us read this verse once again, last verse. Dhanadena samahatyage
धनतेन समहत्यागे
satye dharma ivaparaha
सत्ये
वापरः
tameva gunasampannam
तमेव
एव गुणसम्पन्नं
ramam satya parakramam.
सत्यपराक्रमम्
So with this we'll conclude this verses up to 19, which also brings us to end of Balakanda, first segment of Sankshipta Ramayana. Next session we'll take up from verse 20.